Hello, my name is George, and in this video, we're going to compare Spectrum versus Starlink to see which internet provider is actually better. Stick around because we're breaking down speed, reliability, availability, and pricing. So by the end of this video, you will have a clear idea of which one fits your needs best, and the results might surprise you. And before we dive in, a quick note, some links in the description are affiliate links, which means I may earn a small commission if you make a purchase through them at no extra cost to you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, and now let's get started. What's the difference between Spectrum and Starlink? Let's start with the basics. Spectrum is a traditional cable internet provider that operates in many parts of the United States. It uses coaxial cables, the same type used for cable TV, to deliver internet service. Since it relies on physical infrastructure, it's mostly available in cities and suburbs where the cables have already been installed. In most cases, Spectrum also provides bundled services like TV and phone, making it a popular choice for people who want multiple services in one package. Starlink, on the other hand, is a satellite-based internet service created by SpaceX. Instead of running underground cables, Starlink connects you to the internet using satellites in space. This makes it possible to get internet even in rural areas where traditional cable or fiber internet isn't an option. The technology is constantly improving as SpaceX launches more satellites, which means speeds and reliability should get better over time. The biggest difference? Spectrum delivers internet through cables, while Starlink beams it down from space. That difference affects speed, reliability, and pricing, which we'll break down next. Which one is faster? When it comes to internet, speed is everything. Slow internet means buffering videos, glitchy Zoom calls, and frustratingly long download times. If you're someone who streams a lot of content or plays online games, speed should be one of your top priorities. Spectrum offers speeds ranging from 100 megabits per second to 1 gigabit per second, depending on your plan and location. That means you can stream, game, and work from home without major issues. However, there's a catch. Spectrum's upload speeds are much slower than its download speeds, usually between 10 to 35 megabits per second. This means that if you're frequently uploading large files or live streaming, you might run into slowdowns. Starlink speeds can vary a lot depending on satellite coverage in your area. Most users report speeds between 50 megabits per second and 250 megabits per second, but the service is improving as SpaceX launches more satellites. Upload speeds are similar to Spectrum, usually around 10 to 40 megabits per second. That's not bad, but because speeds aren't always consistent, your experience might be different depending on the time of the day and how many other people are using the service in your area. Now, one big difference is latency, which is the time it takes for data to travel from your device to the internet and back. Lower latency is better, especially for gaming and video calls. Spectrum has latency as low as 20 to 30 milliseconds, making it a great option for online gaming and video calls. Starlink's latency is usually between 25 to 50 milliseconds, which is decent but not ideal for serious competitive gaming. While Starlink's latency is lower than traditional satellite internet, it can still be affected by weather conditions or satellite congestion. So if you need fast, stable internet with low lag, Spectrum is the better choice. But if you live in a rural area without broadband options, Starlink is a game changer. But just know that speeds may fluctuate. Where can you get it? Even if an internet service is great, it doesn't matter if you can't get it where you live. Before picking a provider, you should always check what's available in your area. Spectrum is available in 41 states across the US, but mostly in cities and suburban areas. It's not a great option for people in rural areas because cable infrastructure isn't everywhere. If you live in an apartment or a house that already has Spectrum lines installed, setup is usually quick and easy. However, if you're moving into a newly developed area, you might have to wait for Spectrum to expand its network before you can get the service. Starlink is available worldwide, including in remote and rural locations the traditional internet providers don't reach. However, because demand is high, there is still a waiting list in some areas. If you're in an area with a long wait time, you might have to wait months before you can get connected. The good news is that Starlink's network is growing quickly, and more satellites mean better coverage over time. If you live in a city or a well-connected town, Spectrum is the easier choice. If you live off-grid, in the countryside, or in an RV, Starlink is your best bet. Just be prepared for possible wait times. Which one is more reliable? Reliability is a big deal, especially if you work from home or rely on the internet for important tasks. Frequent outages or slow speeds can be frustrating, so let's see how these two compare. Spectrum is very reliable most of the time. However, it can suffer from outages caused by bad weather, cable damage, or network congestion during peak hours. If a cable is damaged in your area, you could be stuck without internet until it's repaired. If too many people in your neighborhood are online at the same time, you might also experience slower speeds. Starlink is also fairly reliable, but bad weather can affect performance. Since it relies on satellite signals, heavy rain, snow, or thick cloud cover can cause slow speeds or short dropouts. If you live in an area with frequent storms, you might see more disruptions compared to a wired connection like Spectrum. However, Starlink has built-in systems to adjust to weather conditions, and as more satellites are launched, reliability should improve. If you want fewer interruptions, Spectrum wins this one. But if you're in a rural area with no other options, Starlink is still a solid choice. Just be aware that bad weather could impact your connection. How much do they cost? Now, let's talk money. Price is often the biggest factor when choosing an internet provider, so it's important to know what you're getting into. Spectrum's pricing depends on where you live and what plan you choose, but it's usually cheaper than Starlink. Monthly plans start at around $50 to $90 depending on speed. Some plans require contracts, while others are month to month. Starlink has a higher upfront cost. The satellite dish and router cost about $599, and the monthly service fee is around $110. That's significantly more than Spectrum, but the benefit is that you can get internet in places where no other provider is available. So if you're traveling in an RV or living in a remote cabin, Starlink's price might be worth it for the flexibility alone. If you're on a budget and live in an area with broadband, Spectrum is the better deal. But if you're in a rural area where cable internet isn't an option, Starlink's higher price might be worth it. Which one should you pick? At the end of the day, the best internet provider for you depends on where you live and what you need. If you're in a city and want fast speeds at a lower cost, Spectrum is the best choice. But if you're in a rural area and need internet where nothing else works, Starlink is the way to go. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time.